The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
Welcome back, ninjas. Thanks again for joining us on the Blackbelt Sales Podcast. Let's bring Don into the room here real quick. Hang on a second. We're going to add him. I'm fighting with my producer. Go ahead. Do it. All right. Good to see you, Don. Hey, we're going to talk today about how we write scripts over here at Lead Ninja, how we actually utilize questions inside of scripting. And this is a super exciting topic. I remember when I went to, it was years ago, it was training in St. Louis for Airtime 500. Did you ever attend any of that?
I have. I was an Airtime 500 member for a number of years. So, yes.
So I went up there the first time to attend that, and I was super, super excited about the program because I heard that there were some people that were pretty successful in there. And part of the class was us writing our own scripts. And there was no sort of guideline. There was no instruction on how to do it. It was just everybody write their own scripts. And that was super, super frustrating for me as a student. It gave me I hate to admit it, but like I got angry about it. I'm like, I came out here to learn from you, not to create my own stuff. Have you ever experienced this?
Yes. That's where people are giving you too much theory or strategy and not enough tactics. You know, there's a lot of trainers out there that say, you just need to turn over more. You just need to this, and they're giving you strategies, and strategies are wonderful, but it takes the tactics to get stuff done. The strategy is the direction, and the tactic is the steps that I go through. So, yeah, they were giving you strategies and talking about the strategy of the scripts rather than the tactics of how to get it done. And we got this question this morning in our Tuesday, Thursday, 1 hour live session, Lead Ninja Mastermind of I want to sell more thermostats, right? That came up this morning. And, first thing to remember when you're trying to write a script is you're not really wanting to write a script about the product, right? So many people say, I want a script about the thermostat. It's not about the thermostat. It's about the problem of not having that thermostat that makes the sale. So that's a big thing. But if you have a new product, you get new product people come in all the time and they want to preach their stuff, and then they leave, and then you go out and regurgitate and puke that stuff all over your clients, and then you realize they're not buying, and then you get discouraged and you quit doing it. Well, next time you have someone come in with this class today, you're going to be able to take their information and turn it into a script that's, I'd like to say, Lead Ninja certified. You can build your own scripts, and that's one of the first steps is get certified in Lead Ninja. But that's a different topic. But let's share with them today.
We're also going to cover today how to get the spouses involved, guys. So some of you out there, I know, are running into, I got to talk to my wife, I got to talk to my husband. We're going to show you how to not only overcome that, but help to eliminate it before it becomes a problem. Okay. So, and also for those of you that are joining us today, we're going to do something special today. We're going to let one or two of you come on the show with us if you like. If somebody's got a question or something that has been giving you challenges, that's been stopping you from making sales in the field, I want to encourage you. Brittany's going to go ahead and throw the link in the comments right now. And all you've got to do is click on that link, and she'll bring you into a back room, backstage here, and then we'll throw you up on the screen with us, and we'll answer whatever question you've got. Okay. So just go ahead and click the link that is down in the comments right now if you want to come on and join Don and I. I'll be able to see that you're backstage, and I'll bring you on when we're ready. Okay?
Yeah.
So just go ahead and do that now.
This could be a version of Stump the Ninja. If you've got a very hard challenge out there and you think nobody can get past this, well, that's fun. Bring it on. Let's try to see what Gene's take is. Let's try to stump the ninja.
So this morning, Don, one of our participants in the Lead Ninja Mastermind was like, I want to sell more of these Ecobee thermostats, right? And that's never something that's been super sexy to me. It's rarely ever something that I even put on any of my lists, because most of them had programmable thermostats, right? But thermostats have come a long ways. And so staying in line with our process of selling the problem, what is the problem with having a manual thermostat? That's what this guy had this morning. It was just a manual thermostat. So what's the difference? But what's the problem that we would be focusing on instead of trying to sell a product?
Right. And the problem with a old style manual, let's just call it just not new thermostat, is realistically is the way it pulls the system on and off and how the run times are. You know, the temperature settings just aren't as accurate, and an old thermostat may not be as calibrated. I know you can go in and do some calibrations if you've got some tools, but realistically, when's the last time as a technician you've done that? And then realistically, would a client ever be able to do that themselves? So when we go in the houses, those thermostats haven't been really calibrated to any numbers ever. Maybe the day they were installed type situation. So that's how most of these thermostats will promise some energy savings, is because with, you know, the problem that you have with an old thermostat is it's typically utilizing more energy than it would require to otherwise get the house to satisfy that number on the thermostat. That's the biggest thing.
So also I guess what I'm hearing here is the first problem is that we've got some overpayment on utility bills, right? So
exactly.
Quick question.
Wasted money is a very great thing. Great
for all of you guys.
concept.
For all you guys that are in the HVAC business out there, did you know that a manual thermostat typically has about a 2-degree variance on it? So if I've got my thermostat set for 75 and it is the summertime and it's on the air conditioning mode, did you know that if I've got it set at 75, that it typically waits till it's about 77 to kick on, and then it will run it down about 2 degrees below the set point to about 73. Now, that's a pretty big swing, right? And that can also create some challenges with comfort in the house. Yes or no? If the blower is not running long enough, doesn't that intensify comfort concerns, right? So, well, that's kind of, I'm flipping it in reverse right now. But the real challenge is here that a digital thermostat, how much is it going to save you on energy? Approximately as a percentage, what would you say?
Yeah, I think most of the thermostats out there overpromise this. I think a simple 5% savings is still enough to justify a new thermostat today. You know?
So let's do the math real quick. So I would say to a customer, first and foremost, why don't you have XYZ? In this scenario, it's a thermostat. Why don't you have a digital thermostat? Why do you have the old manual one? Did you know that these actually cost a lot more money to operate? On a monthly basis, approximately how much are your utility bills between gas and electric? Did you know that approximately 2/3, the power company says, of our gas and electric bill is to heat and cool our house? So let's say that they said $300. I'd write $300 down. I go $300. And then I'm going to go times 67%, or about 2/3, right? That's going to give me $200. That's approximately what they're spending, right? So did you know that the power company says about 2/3 of that is to heat and cool the house? So what is 2/3 of 300? Do the math with them. Looks like it's 200. What is 5% of 200? Well, that's $10. Okay. How many months are there in the year? That's 12 months. So 10 times 12 is what? $120. Got it? Beautiful. So were you aware that you're overpaying the power company at least $120 a year. And does it make sense that if you had installed one of these digital thermostats 4 years ago, that it would have already paid you back about $500? And you see now why I say that you're paying for a new thermostat, whether you get one or not.
Yes.
Right. So that would be how we would build that script, guys. All of it would be questions to the best of our ability. Right. So I just took the information that I was giving you and turned it into a question by adding, did you know, were you aware, things like that. So that's how you build a script, guys.
And there was nothing about the new thermostat per se. Okay. We're not selling a new thermostat.
No.
We're selling the problem with the old thermostat, right? Whether you like programmable or whether you like auto changeover or you like smart, Wi-Fi enabled, it doesn't really matter, that stuff. You pick your own thermostat, but the process is still the same. That whatever it is about your new thing, their old one doesn't have it. So you talk about the problem with it not being in that one. Programmable thermostats, like 99% of all thermostats that are programmable don't get programmed, don't get used, right? So very sad, but it would save us energy. But smart thermostats, controllable, is the next generation. And somewhere we're going to start talking about those artificial AI thermostats. You know it's coming, right?
Yeah.
This industry's had AI thermostats for 10 years. We just called them smart thermostats, right?
Right.
It's there will be a rebranding of that on all this artificial intelligence that's out there. I think a auto changeover, one that'll sense heat or cool and switch back and forth, should be a minimum in every house, so that you never have to worry about, is it forgetting to turn the heat on or in going on vacation, or turning the I didn't switch it back to air conditioning and then left, and then now my house is hot. Auto changeover, it seems like a very much a artificial intelligence feature.
Yeah. And then there's another angle on this, Don, that you're making me think of as you're talking about being away from the house, right? If I had somebody who was a snowbird, like, I don't know if do you guys have snowbirds in your communities? Put snowbird down in the comments if you guys actually have snowbirds. You know what that means. Here in Florida, in my town, actually, in this area, about 2/3 of the people disappear for about 5 months out of the year. Right. Yeah. So if I had somebody who I knew was a snowbird on top of that utility conversation, I might say something like, have you ever considered that not having a thermostat that connects to your phone leaves you exposed when you leave? If you were to leave and your heating system went out and you were up north and there was no way for you to know that heating system had cut out and you had freezing temperatures, what could happen to your house? Like, Don, role play with me. What could happen to your house?
It get really cold.
Yeah. And what happens when the water in your piping gets too cold?
Ooh, the pipes could freeze.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of pipes freezing and bursting and causing property damage, tens of thousands of dollars, and people being without water for weeks on end trying to get this stuff fixed?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the damage that could happen if something like that had to occur? Right. I'm starting to talk like you, right? Had to occur. Like, can you see now why I say that it's kind of dangerous to not know what's going on with your heating or air conditioning system? And on the flip side, what would happen if your air conditioning went out and you didn't know it, and it was 95 or 98 degrees in your house with 100% relative humidity? What could happen? Can you see now why I say it's just too risky not to have one of these installed?
Absolutely.
So hopefully you guys are seeing that I'm utilizing questions, right?
Exactly. They were all questions. Didn't tell me anything. You asked me a bunch of questions. And that's a big part of the script building, is take the items that you would normally say about the situation, this thermostat, and turn them into questions.
Don, I'm making this shit up on the fly. Like this, I don't have this stuff scripted out, but we probably should have our team go ahead and script out what we just did, right? As a matter of fact, Brittany, please make sure that we send that to Angel so that we can get this put into our group in a scripted format for these products. Anyhow, by the way, guys, if you're watching this live, sorry to interrupt you, Don. If you're watching this live, will you please put live down in the comments? If you're watching it on a replay, just do me a favor. Please just put replay down in the comments. Help us to get this sent out to more people as a result of your comments. That's the fee for the show. So just pay the fee, pretty please. Don, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so many techs or whatever struggle with getting the conversation started. A lot of times they've got such great information, but they have this awkwardness about getting the conversation started. And if you have a trick, if I can call it that, a little technique to get yourself going, you typically can kind of carry it a little bit. Just remember more questions. And that technique is that a little bit of confused look, like, why don't you have one of the
it's my favorite
thermostats why don't you have one of the new Wi-Fi controllable thermostats? What do you mean? Why don't you have why don't you have a surge protector? That's really built into a lot of the script. Guys don't really know, but that can be utilized anywhere. And it's almost a confused look, like everybody else has them. Why have you not got one of the new smart AI thermostats? Again,
Don, I'm just realizing something. I left out something that could be really powerful. Right. We just figured out that if their bills are $300, about $200, that's from the utilities, about $10 a month would be, I think I just lost on for a minute, but check this out, guys. About $10 a month would be their savings or their overpayment right now. So that works out to be $120 a year. I'm glad you're back, Don. But if I take that $120 and I divide that by the $500 that this guy was charging for a thermostat, that's a 24% return on investment. Have you ever considered that? The way that I would phrase that to a customer would be something like this, like towards the end. So you're overpaying $120 a month on your utilities right now.
A year.
Yeah, a year. So a thermostat's only $500. So that turns out to be a 24% return on investment. Do you have anything giving you a 24% return on investment right now? Can you think of anywhere better than to put $500 then into a thermostat that will give you a 24% return on investment if utility bills don't go up? Right.
And it leads to that power question. Can you see now why I say you're paying for it, whether you get it or not? If you can get to that point where you can work that into your conversation, and it's not early, it's got to be after you've made the logical reasons behind it. Can you see now why I say you're paying for it, whether you get it or not? And you just want to go ahead and get it then, right? You want me to go ahead and take care of that while I'm here? You just switch that, so you want to go ahead and get it while I'm here today.
The other thing that is worth saying here, and this is a pro tip, guys. I hope for those of you that are on here right now, you're the 1%ers. You're going to get the pro tip. This power question Don was talking about. Can you see now why I say people do this as opposed to that? Or can you see now why I say that you're paying for it, whether you get it or not? You're going to ask that question after having read some body language, right? Hopefully you have been asking questions and giving some nods for the client. You're going to want to watch and see if they're nodding along with you. Okay. If somebody is nodding along with you while you're asking them these questions, that is a sign that it's okay to ask one of those power questions or a trial close. Right. But if you're not getting that kind of body language, if you don't feel like you're getting the head nodding and stuff, it's not the right time, and you haven't gotten to a place yet where they're convinced, right? Or they could interrupt you and go, "What do we do about this?" Then you know that you're there, right, Don?
There's a lot. The trial close will have that similar structure. Can you see now something, right? Can you see now why so many of your neighbors are getting this instead of having to wait or not getting it, so to speak?
Yeah.
Can you see now why I say that you're paying for it whether you get it or not. It's the same structure of a trial close, but just a few different words at the end for it. It's a wonderful, powerful thing to work those trial closes in. And I like the trial closes because what is it? The average sale is made after about the 6th attempt to ask for the order. Well, trial closes, in my opinion, they qualify, they count towards that number. So we should ask 2, 3, 4 trial closes. Depends on how big the list is, maybe, but 2, 3, 4 of those. So we get down to the end and we ask for the order, that might be the 5th one. And then when we have one objection, that becomes the 6th one, we close it, right? So ask for the order more times will result in more sales. You just have to have some tactic of how to do it differently. Can you see now is a perfect trial close.
Don, we're running really, really tight on time today, so we're not going to have the opportunity to go over how to get more of that spousal involvement, or guys, how can we handle the one-leggers better? How do we handle, I need to talk to my spouse? So we're going to go ahead and go over that on Thursday for you. So you'll want to tune in here to the Black Belt Sales Podcast on Thursday for that. And then right before we go, our Gatlinburg Mansion event is completely sold out. Please don't call and ask if I can stick anybody else in there. I don't need people sleeping on couches. Okay. Everybody needs to have appropriate accommodations. I'm sorry. We're sold out. We can't do anything. However, November 1st through the 5th is going to be the next
December.
Black Belt sales class. Yeah, December. Thank you very much. I always get that wrong, Don. I don't know why. But December 1st through the 5th is going to be the technician class. So you'll check in on the 1st. Class will be the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then we'll be checking you out on the 5th. So the 1st through the 5th, 1st and 5th are travel days. And then right after that, on the 6th through the 8th, we've got a high ticket and comfort advisor sales class. It's going to be 2 days, 3 nights. So if you guys want more information on that, let us know. It's going to be at the Grand Hala Mansion in Orlando. We have already started selling tickets for it, and this one will sell out fast as well. We sold 69 seats to the Gatlinburg one in record time, and we only have 27 seats for the first class and 21 seats for the second class left. Okay. Wow. So get your seats right away. This will be the last training that we'll be able to do this year because our calendar is just jam-packed.
Yeah.
So, guys, hit us up. My cell phone number is 239-848-6533. 239-848-6533. Hit me with a text, okay, first before you try calling. And I'll respond to you by text much faster than anything else. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. And if you're on Spotify or Apple, please go hit the 5 stars. We love you guys. We'll see you on Thursday. Thank you, Don, for joining me, sir.
Thank you, Gene. You have a great day.
You too, sir.